and more.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Rogues Gallery Live. Like I said, everybody, welcome to Rogues Gallery Live. I'm Chris the Batman Statue Collector, and we are joined by the regular crew of rogues this evening. But we have one extra rogue tonight, and one, a character that we don't normally see in the Batcave all that often. But I'm really excited to talk about him tonight, along with a whole bunch of other exciting news. And anyway, let's do some introductions real quick. First of all, this is episode number 131, and let's welcome Wayne Manor North. Actually, not. It's kind of Wayne Manor North tonight, but it's not. It's Wayne Manor, of course, Rocket City. Mr. Dan DeFalt's in the house.
Yeah. Hey, thanks very much. Yeah, I just had to go with the virtual background. It was just too depressing to not have anything displayed yet, and it's going to be a minute. So, yep, a little bit of throwback Thursday or to Wednesday.
That's right. Well, it's nice to reminisce with that great background of yours, and I can't wait to see your future background.
It's coming.
That's right. Have you unboxed anything yet?
Just the new Ivy is unboxed, but all the statues are here. If I flip this camera around, it's really ugly. There's a lot of boxes in here. And so all the statue boxes are in the room. So everything is actually up here. And now it's just a matter of starting to slowly get things out. So it's coming.
Which Ivy? Was it the Sideshow one?
The Sideshow one. Yep.
I love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that piece.
It looks like reminds me of an old Bombshell, pinup kind of style. And I love that. So
yeah.
Yep.
Beautiful piece. Also from All Things Art, we have Eric B in the house. How's it going, Eric?
Doing good. Excited for tonight's show. So everybody in the community can get to see the new reveals, and Superman is looking great in front of Chad right now.
Oh, absolutely. We also have Mr. Jeff Delaney from Secret Sanctuary in the house.
Hey, everybody. I'm excited because Sideshow just teased Daniel Bell, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern.
Oh, wow. Very good. Very good tease for tonight. That's awesome.
That's exciting.
Right at showtime. Well, anyway, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And then,
it better not be a bust.
That's right. And speaking of busts, this is very, very exciting. We have Mr. Chad Colebank from Tweeterhead, been on the show many, many times, dear friend of the channel, and we're just so excited to have you on. And, this big announcement that you've had over the last week or so, kind of teasing this new third scale bust line. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm excited to finally talk about it and tell you guys about it. It's like, for me, it's like one of the most exciting things I've done in a long time.
I know that we've had a chance to kind of talk about this, kind of this line building up over the last, year or so. And it's been so exciting to see it finally come to fruition. And this is something that and I told you, privately, that this is just something that I think is really something special that's going to fill the market, because there's a lot of collectors out there that either collect third scale or collect larger scale things, but for whatever reason, a lot of times those characters aren't always made, and that could be because of the risk of not selling enough or whatever. But maybe I'll just turn it over to you. Like, let's just start, and what's kind of your vision for this line? Tell the folks a little bit about what you have in mind here, and kind of like what brought you to kind of doing a third scale bust line.
Yeah, I think you first of all, you hit the nail on the head. Is like, me. I love the A-listers, but if you're like a D-list DC character, you're probably one of my favorites, right?
Right.
And there are pieces that, if we're all being super honest, they won't get made, right? There are some pieces that, just as cool as they are, as cool as they would look, like, we're not going to get around to it. And I don't think a lot of companies are, but it's what excites me personally. So I'm like, there's got to be a way. And then, the guy who I consider started all of this, Randy Bowen, his busts that he did, he would do like a statue and the accompanying bust, I think, at the same time. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, in case you couldn't afford the bust or the statue, you could get the bust. And then some characters were busts that he didn't make statues of. And so it just started percolating. And then, we could have done this guy at like 6 scale or quarter scale. But for me, I'm like, if you're only going to have a certain amount of character, like, make it really stand out,
Absolutely.
Make it really have a presence.
Well, what do you guys? I mean, you guys are getting the chance to see Superman for the very first time. Like, what are you guys thinking? Like, as you take a look at this thing,
He's spectacular.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah, I mean, just really incredible. And Chad, so question for you. So, and I know we're going to talk more about, some of the other things that are coming down the pipe in the line, but will they all be a similar kind of format in terms of torso, midsection, up, or?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to like. As much as I admire companies that make bust in general, I really want to keep this line super consistent.
Yep.
So they're all going to have the exact same base.
Yep.
And our friends at Sideshow were nice enough to, I love this base. And so they were like, feel free to use it on your bust. And we're going to have 3 sizes, basically. We're going to have, a smaller one for like female characters, or if Chad gets his way, Mr. Mixelplick bust. And then
Cool.
we're going to have like the medium-sized one that'll be for the heroes, the males, and then we're going to have the larger size bust that'll be for Darkseid, Solomon Grundy. Again, in my brain, I see like Wonder Woman like this and like Giganta like this. But that's just me, right? But so we're gonna have, it's all gonna be the exact same bust. So if you collect them and they're on your shelf, you immediately know this is part of a line. And and they're all gonna have this slight torso. And I'll be honest, like at first we just cut them off at the belt, and it just looked like we were just cheaping out and just being like, let's just chop them in half and stick them on a base. But then, and Chris has seen this, like my little personal project is I'm like, I wonder if I could do like a crypto bust, but it still no matter what you do, it looks like you cut the dog in half in a magic act and stuck them on a base.
well,
But they'll all be in the same format, but they will all be, hopefully again, with something like this, we can bring out a lot of their personality. So obviously hands on hips, Wonder Woman, who I can't say who designed her yet, but you guys will go crazy. I want to like bring as much of the character to these as we can. And a lot of people are like, can you put legs on them and sell them as 3rd scale? And the answer is no. But also for me, like as much as like I love the statues, and our 6 scale DC is not going anywhere. Next year is going to be a big year with a couple different characters that nobody would expect. But I just thought that, for me, whenever you think about Superman, I just don't need a big giant base. I don't need a bunch of stuff. Like this is like the essence of that character for me, right? Same thing for Batman, same thing for Wonder Woman. It's just like mostly everything is from the waist up, the insignia, everything.
We might need the legs on Wonder Woman.
Yeah, you'll have that much of a leg, like a tiny little leg. Yeah.
Well, and one thing I really like that you said about the classic kind of base, that is all going to be consistent. So we were talking before the show about how trying to come up with different ideas, like what would you come up with for Two-Face, or what would you come up for this character or that character. I really like that you're going to keep it consistent over time. And speaking of over time, like how extensive are you hoping that this will go? Like how far would you like to see it? Because
oh my God,
people hearing this for the first time, they might be like, this is exactly what I want to collect. Just like you mentioned Randy Bowen, and somebody really appreciated that you gave Randy a shout out, because he's the one that started it all.
He started everything. Yeah. I mean,
somebody that might be interested in this line, like kind of like, what are you thinking for like depth? Are you wanting to go pretty deep?
Well, I mean, for me personally, I would love to do, of course, like the whole Justice League. Half of them are already done, but, just obscure villains, A-listers, B-listers. I mean, if we have the fan support, like there's no reason that we won't just keep going. But I will tell you, our second one isn't Wonder Woman. It isn't Batman. We want to like really show you guys that, hey, if you're in it with us, we're going to give you like all of these characters that you love and that you've asked for. And then also, the price point, like I said, this is $300. I would like them all to be $300, if they're a huge character, a little bit more. But we're selling these directly on tweeterhead.com. So that's just their direct sales, and nothing. Most of them, I think, are going to be limited to an edition size of 300, maybe 500 on some of the really popular characters. But for me, this is like kind of harkening back to our beginning, where it was like a little bit of a boutique company and making smaller edition sizes and making characters that people love, and making it affordable, which, you know, it took some negotiating, but like for this is like a big, you know, in real life, this is huge and it's heavy. And to try to get it out there for $300, I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think that whenever that price point was announced, I think a lot of people's jaw hit the floor, because we're seeing third scale statues, you know, $2,000 up, you know, with shipping and things like that these days. So it's just so incredibly refreshing to me that you're going to take these characters and give us, you know, something that's a third scale presence at an incredible price point. And I don't know about the rest of the rogues, but I saw that and I'm like, this is going to be very exciting for collectors, because obviously, you know, as we've talked all, you know, we talked to you and we talked to the community about, you know, things aren't going great for statues right now. And because of the shipping costs, because of the price point, especially from the overseas markets, I think. And so again, have an American company that is going back to the roots, like you said, and you know, you can just get it directly from Tweeterhead, which is very exciting. And again, the fact that you're keeping the price point, and I know that at some point the price will probably go up a little bit, but hopefully for a while you'll be able to keep it at that price point. I know you've told me before that you would like to try to keep it there as long as possible.
Well, yeah, and that a little bit for me, it's like having that relationship with the factories that we use, and like, you know, this is big, you know, but there's, you know, if you have like, I mean, Zatanna, like she's not going to be this mass, and there's not going to be this much paint application. So there's, I mean, I'm really going to negotiate hardcore for these because I want to continue these for a long time. You know, if something like, you know, our second release, which I think, do you have a teaser of that, Chris? Do you have a picture of that? I think we just teased it a little bit in one of our pictures.
Okay. Is it the silhouette with Superman?
Yeah.
Okay, so just to give everybody an idea, like what Chad has in front of him, this was the original teaser for Superman that we got. Obviously, very similar to what we have profile-wise, but then we also have a brand new photo that we're premiering tonight. Can you guys see the shadow?
That's awesome.
Yeah, so Doomsday is going to be the second release. It'll be early next year, and this guy is huge. And so it might be a little bit more than 300, not a lot more, definitely not 400, I promise you that. But you know, this, like, I didn't want to come out with a Wonder Woman or Batman next. I wanted to be like, look, this is where we're going. It's not Luthor, it's, you know, this massive character.
Well, that is going to be very exciting, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be wanting to see the full reveal. So hopefully we'll be able to have that soon for you guys. But obviously, again, to think of a third scale Doomsday, like that's going to be big. It's going to be big. And like you said, it's going to be a little bit the bigger base. You know, just a little
he'll have the
monster.
Yeah,
which is very exciting.
He'll have the large base, but yeah, and the sculpt, like the digital sculpt so far, we haven't printed it, is amazing. It is. And honestly, guys, I didn't read any of those comics. I did not. I was at a time in my life when the death of Superman happened. I wasn't into comics, and you know, I was like, I just never understood that character. And then when we started working on him, I'm like, wow, like he's kind of. I mean, just there's a lot going on in that design. Where at the beginning, when I started, you know, knowing who he was, I didn't really understand what it was, to be honest. But he looks incredible. He's really good.
Well, you guys all know me as the Batman guy, but hey, Rogues, aren't you excited that he's not doing Batman next? Like, I'm kind of excited about that. You know, it's like, because that's what anybody always does. It's like, oh, here's a Superman, here's a Wonder Woman, here's a Batman, and then maybe you'll get this other character, maybe. But I love that you're like starting out of the gate doing something unexpected. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah. It's like, because I mean, you don't want to do, like, I don't want to do, you know, Batman, Wonder Woman, Joker, Harley, and then you kind of are like, oh, okay, now, and then here is the ventriloquist, right? And then a lot of people were like, overdone, peace out. And but if we pepper it in, and ventriloquist is on one of my lists because it's like a character you're never going to see, a statue of, I don't think.
Until Tweeterhead does it.
Yeah, until Tweeterhead does it.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like we want to hit a bunch of stuff, and we have a couple designs for future stuff. Chris, I don't know when you want to show that, but I will tell you that on Black Friday we're going to run a poll on Tweeterhead's Facebook page or social media, Instagram maybe. And what we're going to do is we're going to hopefully release 3 or 4 a year, and one of those will always be a fan poll, and we'll put up 4 characters. Whatever gets the highest votes, we're going to make it, no matter what. So, like, you've heard it here. Somebody said, like, I forget who somebody was just telling me some of the characters they wanted, and I was like, look, that's a good one for the fan poll because it might not be something we get to immediately, but if you vote for it.
We are going to show those teasers here in just a moment, but a lot of people in the chat are interested in various characters. And again, like you mentioned, doing these fan polls, just the fact that knowing one is going to get made no matter what, that's very exciting. I know that Jerry Bourne has said a couple of them. He would like to see Cyborg and Raven. Any chance for Teen Titans? He mentioned Teen Titans.
Yeah. That's on my very short list. And I've got a picture of Raven that I've played around with enough to it would be perfect for a bust. And Cyborg, that's like one of the most underserved characters in the statue world ever.
The Golden Boy says, any chance for a Star Sapphire?
Maybe. I would do Star Sapphire in a heartbeat. I would do Starfire in a heartbeat. I think we just have to be really careful with the sensitivity to their costumes, etc. And deliver something that you guys are going to want as collectors, and something that we can get over the finish line, to be super honest.
Anthony Kennedy is saying Firestorm. Is there any chance that we might be getting a Firestorm?
Maybe you tell me.
Would you like to see?
I'd like to see.
Let's see it. Here we go. Here's our first tease.
Nice.
Boom.
And this is a lot of these concepts are things that we've been working on, maybe as full statues down the line, maybe not, just things that we've had that it's like that's a character that a lot of people have asked for. And I'm like, it would be perfect as a bust. Because then again, if you guys it's just trying to figure out what would Starfire's base be? How big would it be? How much is this going to cost? But the essence of Starfire is right, or a Firestorm is right there,
It looks so great. And I'm to be honest, I don't know as much of this character, but I had him as a superpowers figure, and I used to love him.
My first introduction was that in the cartoon.
Yeah, it's just so cool. And I love the art direction. I love the flame going around him. It's just it's a very artistic looking piece. And so it really gives you an idea of kind of what you're thinking for some of these busts, and I really like it.
We've got a couple cool designs where the cape isn't always going to be like this. Sometimes for the female characters, if the cape goes across and just kind of it divides that character from the base, it looks really cool. Some stuff like our Batgirl, which I think we teased. I think we showed a silhouette of her, but she has a shorter cape, so it's kind of flaring out. But yeah, Firestorm. I would love that. That probably. I don't know if it would happen really, really soon, but that was just something where I'm like, what obscure character could we think about? Has he ever been made into a statue?
I don't think so.
A licensed one, I should say.
No.
I can't think of one.
Yeah, so that would be, again, something I'd be proud of, is bringing something like that around.
That's awesome. We got more teasers for you guys. I've got 193 people watching right now. Please hit the like button. That does help us out and helps other people find the live content, so you guys can also see these incredible renders. Somebody just brought up the fact that these are so space friendly, which is really, really nice, because again, I love my giant third scales, but the bases are obnoxious at this point. They're just so big. And it takes 2 or 3 boxes to get to you sometimes. And so the idea that this is going to be one box, it's going to be all put together for you. I just think that's fantastic. And again, the price point, I'm sold. I'm all in on this. I can't wait.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you.
So you were talking about characters that were maybe a little obscure, but how about we see one that people love and know and have been jonesing for some time? You want to see another one? All
Yes,
right, here we
definitely.
go. Here we go. Here's another one, guys. Here we go.
That's awesome.
Mr. Freeze. It's the Batman statue collector staple. I haven't frozen yet.
Yeah.
But look how great this design is. I love this thing.
Love it.
And I do want to say too, like they're just, and I'm sure someone's going to ask this question, but just because there's a bust doesn't mean there will be a statue down the line, or there won't be a statue down the line. Like just because we are making a Freeze bust does not mean there won't be a Freeze statue at some point. But that's why the scale difference is so wonderful, because it's yin and yang, right? They're not similar enough to compete with each other.
Chad, people are loving this.
Yep.
So many
great.
positive comments. People can't wait to get these. Love the design. Everybody's saying they love the design. It's just really incredible. And again, if we can't get this in full statue form, how great is this? Like, again, the price point is insane. It's going to be 3rd scale presence. It's not going to take up a lot of room, and the art direction is really cool. I just love it. I think this is really going to be something really spectacular. And you mentioned, like you said, the fact that just because you're doing a bust doesn't mean that you won't do these characters as well down the road.
No, not at all. No, I mean, Mr. Freeze is like, I mean, come on. I mean, eventually we've got to get around to a statue of Mr. Freeze,
Absolutely.
But, when I'm thinking about, hey, for this bust line, what is really going to knock people's socks off? And, with Mr. Freeze, you have that glass dome on his head, which I have the perfect glass dome. So it's like, it was just one of those things that was just like, let's do it.
So
Let's do it
Chad,
and
Chad, if you did do a full figure of some of these characters, what scale would they be?
they would be 6 scale, like our line, our DC line.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know there were a couple comments about questioning, like, oh, are you going to make those anymore? Because sales, blah, blah, blah. We are not abandoning that line at all. That's what we started with. That's what we'll continue with. And like I said, we've got, it's no secret, Catwoman is going to be out in the first quarter of next year. And then we've got 3 more, and 2 of the characters we've never done before ever. One's a repeat from years and years ago, and then 2 are completely brand new.
You mentioned the 6 scale. I know you've had kind of a working relationship with Sideshow from time to time. Was there any chance that some of those would still be offered in quarter scale as well, or is that?
Yeah, there's been no like firm no. So I think everything is just, is this character, is it worthy of being a quarter scale? Is it something that they have done, recently? I mean, like our Scarecrow, for example, like, they did a Scarecrow a couple years ago. It was amazing. And, it just there. And for us, it's like, which character is not every single, if we did every character a 6 scale and quarter scale, then we start to, I think, confuse our customer base, where they're like, which one do I get? Or I'm going to abandon this to get all of those. And then, so never say never. And, our Two-Face, like a perfect example of, quarter scale and 6 scale.
Absolutely. Let me get the super chat real quick. Somebody did super chat. Money wasted collecting said $10. Here's the first donation for Firestorm Productions. That's awesome.
Oh, nice. So, put my address in there.
That's right. Absolutely. So thank you guys for the super chat. Some other questions that have come up. Matt says polystone. So obviously this is going to be a polyresin, I'm assuming.
Polyresin, yeah. Those are
polyresin.
2 very different things, as you guys all know.
Yeah, polyresin is what they're using, so that's very, very good. Let me see. There was another question. Oh, somebody's asked about would there ever be any possibility? Would you ever have any interest in doing any movie versions of these, or would you like to just keep them comic book for now?
I would say, like, at the moment, my brain is like, would I rather do X movie version, or get around to like a Brainiac, or get around to, I don't know, Batman That Laughs bust or something. Like, so at the moment it's not on my brain, but I mean, next year is Batman's 85th anniversary. So you never know.
Some people have suggested, would you ever want to do a Ra's al Ghul?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Another
Absolutely.
character that's super underserved.
I agree. I think there's a
And,
lot of demand.
and
for him.
Talia too. I mean, where are the Talia statues?
So what I'm hearing you say is maybe a Ra's al Ghul, maybe a Talia. That sounds pretty exciting.
Maybe. I mean, I grew up on Batman. I mean, I grew up on DC Comics, but really I grew up on Batman. And I mean, the best rogues gallery in the history of comic books, period. I mean, if I could make every single character, I would. So.
Absolutely. I love that. Let me see. Do you guys want to see another teaser?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. I'm also very, very excited about this. Here you go, guys. Not only did you see Mr. Freeze, but how about Clayface?
Yeah. Oh my God, it's going to be enormous. It's going to be...
Yeah. So he would be a really big one. But honestly, I think we designed that one just with Chris in mind, because it's like someone's got to do a Clayface eventually, and this guy will be like a huge monster, Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and I think I will say one of the discussions around him, and again, maybe this is a poll for people, is, of course, that big ball spiked arm you have to have, but the front arm, like, does it have to be an arm, or could it be just like melting like into a big pile of clay in his body? Blah blah blah. Like, there's so many. We might end up throwing a couple different alternatives up to see what people like the best.
So I do. Oops, I'm sorry. I got to get this off the screen real quick. So my question to you is, like, do you ever see yourself doing any sort of like swap outs for these, or are they just going to be what they are? Like, how do you envision them?
I think if the character, if it lends itself to it, because as you know, like with third scale, the bigger they are, the like sometimes harder the swap outs to hide are.
Right.
So like with Clayface, like if you stuck a different arm on him, it's going to have this big seam, right? Mm-hmm. But with Batman, that's something with Batman, like, it's like you can do the retro version, a modern version, include two heads with it. Like, so yeah, I could see some characters having swap out parts for sure.
That's really cool. I love this Clayface, and again, thank you for thinking of me in mind. I love that. Yeah. I think I love what you've done here. I could definitely see like mud like oozing into the base or covering part of the base. I think that would be cool. But man,
because that's excited. where everybody else has like their trunks sliced off or whatever. Like, he's just like a pile of mud, right? I mean, I always wanted to send people like a box of like clay from the art store and be like, it's our Clayface maquette. Like, do with it what you want. But yeah, every time I see this base, and I don't know why little things get into my brain and obsess me, but it's like every time I see this base, I'm like, if this was like this ginormous Clayface, and there's just like a little drip of clay down here or something, like, or a little ball of clay or something. I mean, who knows? But again, like, then like Killer Croc, how amazing would that be? I mean, Superman, Brainiac, Lex Luthor. You've just got so many, and then the Green Lantern Corps. We haven't even talked about that. So,
Chad, is there any? Have you given any thought to kind of artist-inspired versions of these characters? A great duo Batman, a Jim Lee Batman.
Awesome.
Yep. I think we would need to, like, sorry, I was low battery. You know me, and I'll tell you this. So I have 10% left, and Chris will tell you this too. A quarter of, I'm panicking, like, let's get on. I just got a brand new laptop. My IT guy says it's like a gamer's laptop. It's so fast, the graphics, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't have a camera on it.
He's talking to me. He can't hear me, and he's talking to me, and he's like, I could hear him. Yeah. And he's like, I don't think there's a freaking camera on this computer. And there wasn't a camera.
I keep looking. I don't even know where the camera is on the phone, so I'm probably looking up in the corner, but because I'm blind as a bat. And I'm like on my laptop trying to press to feel the camera whole thing. And I'm like, I was like, Chris, like, what is it with me? I said the day that the tech goes right for Tweeterhead will be the day Chris goes out of business.
Yeah, that's right.
Where he's like, the Batcave is closed.
That's right. We're closed for business for today.
But an artist series would be great. I think with Wonder Woman, it might be the unofficial start of that, because there's an artist that I adore who has already designed our Wonder Woman, and she's amazing. Awesome. So that'll be something to talk about in the future. But yeah, I mean, really, it's like, again, like, I mean, like I said, edition size of 300. I hope that's not difficult to achieve. The price point's great. We're not going anywhere. I get a lot of flack for our superpowers line, but like a lot of people don't realize, like, I gave you guys like 21 unique characters. Like that's a lot in a line, you know?
Yep.
So, and you know, and somebody had said, and my friend Roy posted the other day, like, oh, I wish they'd started with a Hawkman. And I'm like, we'll get to Hawkman for sure. But to start a line of DC busts, like you gotta do Alpha, right? You gotta do the Big Cheese #1.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Give a shout out to Fatal the Collector, a $4.99 super chat. Day one for me, he says, this will be the best bang for your buck 1/3 line in today's crazy market. He says, hashtag Riddler, Grundy, Man-Bat, Phantasm, and Clayface. So you've mentioned Grundy already, but like,
yeah,
how
but
great
Phantasm would be, that is on my like dream list, like with the removable mask. That would be the removable mask or the swap out head. Like that would be amazing. Like, and I don't know, again, because I'm not the biggest comic collector, but I don't know that last run of Batman Catwoman who drew it. But that would be something where I would reach out to that artist and be like, can we please interpret that Phantasm? Because I love that.
That's awesome. And I think that again, there's so many people right now in the chat that's salivating because you're mentioning characters that we've been asking for forever, and it's just again at that price point and the fact that you want to go so far into the rich history of DC Comics, like this is very, very exciting. You know, I've done a lot of talking, gentlemen. What do you guys think? Like, what stands out to you the most as we've been talking tonight?
I really like the slant cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You get
some people haven't liked it, but I think for me, it's like, again, it's not just like cutting them off at the waist. And it just is a little bit more of like, again, you'll see a bunch of them and be like, oh, that's a Tweeterhead bust because this is our unique kind of little slice where, you know, you get a little bit of those trunks or whatever.
I agree.
And also with something like Wonder Woman, you kind of need it, or, you know, unless she's holding her lasso, it's kind of just like hanging out there in midair, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for this line. Not to compare it to other companies, but I'm going to just real quickly.
Don't do it. I'm kidding.
I mean, everybody hails the Prime 1 Superman as like one of the best Supermans. To me, this bust just, you know, from the waist up looks better than that. The new Legendary Beast, I think this just from the waist up looks better than that. The Sideshow Superman bust that came out, this looks better than that. To me, this is like almost the perfect Superman, you know, just in bust form. It looks great.
Yeah. You know, what I will say, I mean, I also
everybody
like,
just to squeeze in one more thing. Everybody always says your 1/6 Superman is like one of the best Superman statues. They always wish it was a little bit larger. So you guys are always great at, you know, producing Superman statues.
yeah, thanks. That's something, you know, I did for a personal project, which we can do this because we own the company. I printed that out a quarter scale for myself, and it is pretty impressive. But yeah, Superman. Everyone I think thinks he's a difficult or an easy character to do. He's so much more difficult to get him like super handsome.
Yeah,
and you know, it's a lot of work. And actually, something that I'm glad you brought that up that I wanted to mention is a pet peeve of mine, and it's on every Superman I've ever made, and there's no way to get around it, especially if you have the full cape, is not to have the cape be this big giant monster that you plug in here, like, you know, on the shoulders, and you plug it in, and there's just no way around having a gap. And if you have a swap out and the cape has to come off and go back on, like I think I did in my first Superman, you know, if you go back and look at my first Superman, it's not the best. But what I will say with this is like, and I won't show you the back because it's not finished yet, but this is all sculpted into the collarbone, into the neck. And then when you get around the back of the shoulders, it's seamed. And it's seamed to where it's seamed, and then it goes under the logo, the back logo. And it's a little bit of extra cost at the factory, but I'm like, I just don't want to see that. I want this to blend perfectly into his collarbone. I want the cape to be perfect.
yeah.
I love that. We were talking before the show about how like so many of the Supermans out there, they have that weird gap kind of along the edge where it kind of keys in. And this is solving that problem because it's all one solid piece. You know, it's thoughtful sculpting, which is great.
Yeah.
But
like I said, awesome. Like it's something that you honestly, if you're making a full like scale Superman, like the whole body, legs, base, there's just kind of no way to get around it because, you know, if you seamed that on a full third scale, like over time, that is going to, you know, either crack or who knows what.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Comment from the Everyday Collector, great YouTuber as well. This is a very smart business move. I definitely commend Tweeterhead, definitely an untapped market that will have a high demand. This line will be the new Bowen, but for DC. So
Nice.
that's
Thanks.
very exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I got to tell you, like whenever I go to bed at night, I'm like, oh, so who's next? Who's this? I'm driving everybody crazy at the moment.
Well, you can keep driving us crazy because we love talking about this stuff.
No, I'm crazy. I mean, like, it's like just a discussion I had the other day. I'm like, Punchline is now, in the mix. You've got Harley. I'm like, is there a way to do like I love it. Like for me, I love again, like some of the characters, like Harley's dogs. I love those dogs. I love my Candor that I did. And I'm like, can we do like a bust where it's just like the big Candor, like on a base like this or something? And then like, can we do a deluxe Harley where she's got the dogs somehow in there? And, there's just so many things. There's characters that I don't want to overlook just because we're cutting them all off at the waist,
Right. Well, and it just bodes for creativity because you're going to have some time with the extensiveness of this line to be able to keep trying to come up with concepts and different ideas. And again, like you said, doing these fan polls and things like that. I think that's we've talked a lot about how it has been kind of become stressful lately. I think probably for manufacturers as well as consumers that want to buy this stuff. And I feel like this is also, we talk about how do we get collecting to be fun again. And I feel like this is something along those lines. Like this is something that gets people excited, knowing it's going to be a full depth line, knowing that it's going to be affordable. It's not going to take up a lot of room. It's going to be highly collectible. And again, the fan poll, the interaction part of it, Tweeterhead gets it. And I think that's exciting.
Thanks. Yeah. It's like, I'm sure we'll have other polls, like, when we get to Luthor suit, power suit, when we get around to like a Lois Lane bust, which that is going to come sooner than later, I hope.
Nice.
Because,
that's great.
Like that's a character that, again, like I just keep thinking of characters that I would love to have had as statues or maquettes that, the sideshow Lois Lane, I love that one where she's with Superman up in the air.
Yeah.
But it's like, how cool would a Lois Lane bust be? And that would be something that would be pretty affordable. And, Batman seems to be the only character that gets a real world of three-dimensional pieces, right? Because it's all the villains. I don't have my glasses on.
Jeff's holding up a vintage Lois Lane right there.
That Fleischer, oh my God. So if I could do like a subline, it would be super retro, super duper retro characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'm just super excited about it. He's gonna go on sale next Thursday.
Wow.
Next Thursday he goes up. We'll have the payment plan, of course, which will be, $300 over the course of 6 or 7 months is nothing. But yeah, if we can get the support from the fans, from the collectors, from the community, this is like something that I'm beyond passionate about. So,
well, the cool thing is, someone else said it's an untapped market. It really is, because there are so many collectors of 1/4 and smaller who want to get into 1/3 and just don't have the space. Yeah. And this is a real opportunity to make that happen.
Yep. Yeah. I love it. I love, for me, like, we talked about a little earlier, is Superman, what base is he on? Supergirl, what base is she on? Steel's on one of the short lists of mine is doing a Steel, or Mira, what base is she on? It's like we would spend more time developing bases than developing this. And thankfully Sideshow developed this base that, like, I think this is iconic and goes with every DC character because it screams kind of Art Deco, classic, timeless, right?
Yep. It reminds me of the animated series. Like, it just has that Art Deco feel, and I've always loved that design. And again, I've got the 2 Sideshow busts from way back in the day, and I love it. I'm so glad that you got to use that, because I feel like it is timeless and it just feels DC to me. And I love it. Cool. So many people are, again, just saying so many great things about the price point and how excited they are, how it's going to make collecting fun for them. I could just envision like a whole row of these. Like, how great would they look all lined up next to each other? I mean, I just think that it would look really, really good.
Yeah. You mentioned
and I mean, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, Chris mentioned the animated series. I think Dan and Chris, you guys used to collect. Was it DC Direct that did those?
Yeah.
And those all look great together. You can imagine doing like a whole third scale collection.
Oh
like
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, 100%. And I mean, like, knock on wood, we did the Justice League as 6 scale statues, but I mean, we've already got basically Batman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter. You add a couple more, and like if you just collected those 7 characters, you would have an awesome display, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But another one like Gorilla Grodd, like he'd be another ginormous one.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That would be cool.
right? Yeah.
Well, that's
Big
good
part
about the bigger characters. You can even like stack and put like the bigger characters in the back, and then like
Yeah.
do like the display with the smaller characters in the front.
Yeah,
That's what I did with my Diamond Select when I had my display that Dan had there. I had all the big characters back behind and the smaller ones up front. It looks great, but this is going to have so much more presence because those are so much bigger than those Diamond Select pieces were.
and hey guys, if like I told you, it just said 10%. So if I lose you, I'm going to go on until it dies. But just to tell everybody, like our 6 scale line is not going anywhere. The Motu line isn't going anywhere. We've got, I know somebody, I think it was Alex said, like, I think he asked a question, Chris, on your page about Thundercats. So there will be Thundercats news beginning of next year. So everything we've been doing, we're doing. This is just something brand new, and this is just kind of a passion project, which, I think Chris saw it, but my Black Adam was my test. I was like, hey, can I make a bust out of that Black Adam? And it looks so cool. And I was like, okay, this is something that, and I'm like, this is something that we could do with all these characters.
Absolutely. People were also asking in the chat before we lose you if you wanted to talk do you have any announcements or plans for any of the He-Man line? Is there anything you want to say about the He-Man line or Thundercats in general?
Thundercats, like I said, we'll talk about that next year. Like, it's kind of funny, like we're doing these lines where like, David, myself, we're so passionate. I know somebody mentioned Ninja Turtles. I know Dave, I mean, I had all the toys when I was a kid. Dave loves Ninja Turtles. We don't have a license for that, so we can't make Ninja Turtles. But everything is moving on. Skeletor on Panther will be out early next year. And we've got, years of line list ready to go that we're working on. So yeah, there's nothing's ending. This is just a beginning of like a little subline.
So again, people are asking about, I'm sorry, I had to click the wrong thing there. Any chance they will do a color variant for Skeletor?
For the 5th scale maquette. Possibly, yeah, maybe. I mean, we've been doing variants. We did Tila. We did Hordak, Tila, Merman. So yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't down the road. But I will tell you, the variants are getting, the edition sizes are getting incredibly small.
Mhm.
Like they are going to be very small, like maybe 150 or 75 in some cases.
Wow. So again, very collectible for sure.
Yeah.
Some people are asking, I hit the wrong thing earlier. Will the bus be available on Sideshow? So these are going to be available on tweeterhead.com. And that is going to be the place where you can buy them. And so, again, it's very exciting that it's going to be kind of this really exclusive thing. And like Chad said, probably an edition size of around 300, maybe 500 on the really, really popular characters, he said. And so I feel like this is going to be something that's going to go quickly, I think, especially these initial releases, because people are going to be really interested in seeing what these are all about. And yeah, it's very exciting. So again, if you're interested, again, like Chad said, I think next Thursday, which is a week before Thanksgiving, right? Week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. A week before our fan poll, Black Friday's our fan poll.
That's right. So you got a couple of good things to look forward to. Obviously, you got the pre-order that's going to go, and I'm assuming some gentlemen in this chat right here is going to be ordering. I know a lot of people in the chat's going to be ordering this one, and of course, will this be the first Superman in my collection? I think there's a really good chance, because I think this is really a cool piece, and I love the color. Like Eric said, I think it's one of the best Superman ever done. I think it's really, really impressive, and just seeing it here in this light, in this paint, The paint looks tremendous on this thing. So very, very exciting.
And just so you know, whenever we do direct sales, I always go through the customer orders to see if any of you guys ordered.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's very cool. Well, anyway, I'm excited. Do you guys have anything else to say or ask?
Chad, did Guillermo sculpt the Superman?
He did. Yes.
You can tell.
I think he promoted it a little bit on his Instagram. Yeah, that guy is amazing. So, you'll be seeing more of Guillermo for sure in this line. That's for sure.
Just another shout out to the artist. I really like the drawings that you showed tonight, especially the freeze. I would be interested in buying that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. The freeze.
Again,
And actually, I mean, I saw like a Wonder Woman concept is like a finished piece of art that we could sell as a print tomorrow. And then it got me thinking, hey, should we do like a little something, a little extra with some of the stuff? So we will see how it goes. But I mean, it's going to be good stuff. And like they're a presence. Like I said, everybody that walks by is like, oh, look at that, so I'm excited.
That's awesome. Any other questions, Dan or Eric or Jeff?
Since it was mentioned a million times, and I'm kind of curious too, any chance for a Riddler, or would that be like a poll type option?
No, Riddler's a must do, right? That's a must do character. Who was I just thinking of? Like one that's like I would love to do is what's her name? The Superman villain, it's not Silver Banshee, is it? She's like with the skull face.
Yeah, Silver Banshee. Yeah.
Is it Silver Banshee? Like that would be so cool because again, like I think it's awesome to be able to interpret like if we do a Starfire, like having that hair, like it could completely wave around here and be like an awesome cutoff between the base and her, like she's flying out of it. There's a ton of characters. I mean, I don't know if you guys have that omnibus of the like the who's who of DC Comics that came out in the 80s. But you should get it. It's like that thick, and it was a comic series that came out in the 80s every week. Like it would be like A through halfway through the A's, and it was amazing art, amazing. It was like every character. So, I mean, I just look at that. I'm like, oh, there's so many characters to do.
Yeah, there sure is.
I have the encyclopedia. I don't have the Omni.
There you go.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. Get the omnibus because that's totally different format. The omnibus is, it was each page was like a character drawing, a lot of George Perez in there, a lot of other artists, and the covers I loved. I wish, Jeff, if you have it, I wish they had all the covers inside of it.
Uh-oh.
Oops.
Oh, there he went.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh. What do you mean? All the covers of what?
I missed it. I froze, so I don't know.
Yeah. I am dying to know.
Anyway, so we're going to have Chad on again to answer that question, I guess.
I'm really dying to know who designed the Wonder Woman. I've got two artists in mind, and
Well, some people said
Jenny Friesen is a real possibility.
I think that is a really good possibility too.
But he knows Olivia really well.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. And now that she's been sculpting, that could be really interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
the line looks incredible. This could be a way to get me into non-Batman characters.
Yeah,
like I said, I feel like I need that Superman somewhere. Like it's like I just kept looking at it on Chad's table there, and like just the thought of them all lined up in one row, like it would look incredible.
That Superman is almost 17 inches tall.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I think Matt's been answering the questions in the chat.
Gig.
About 17 inches tall.
Michael says, someone buy Chad an extension cable or a battery pack or something. That poor guy. I tell you, it is crazy. But
it's good.
I don't think Jeff doesn't know anything, but we're just taking a guess because again, Chad has hinted that, and he hinted to me too, and he hasn't told me either. And believe me, he's told me a million things, but that's not one of them because I think he's wanting to keep that one close to the vest. But I love Dan's question about, would you consider a Capullo look? And I don't know. I don't know how that would if that would go, if they're working with certain artists like Guillermo. Again, they mentioned Guillermo, and Jeff and I had a chance to hang out with him quite a bit last year at San Diego. What an incredible talent. Just an incredibly nice guy too.
Yeah.
And so it's really exciting anytime, especially like if you've been able to meet the artist and being able to own some of his work, that's pretty exciting.
I mean, can you imagine like three Jokers, right?
Yeah.
Like coming out with a three, a set, right? Of the
That'd
three
be cool.
Jokers, or I think they'd be incredibly popular.
Yeah.
I mean, the like I told him, really the possibilities are endless of what they could do.
Yeah.
But again, we have to support it. If they do 3 characters and by the fourth character no one's buying, who knows if they'll continue. So like, again, at that $300 price point, I would think that a lot of people would be all in.
Well, you know what? I don't think that's going to be a problem with this.
I really don't either. I mean, Jeff, you just posted, came up. Oh, you can't see it on my phone, but you just posted the Superman. I mean, it looks insanely good. And Eric, and I'm not saying this because this was tonight's topic or Chad was just on. I agree with you. I think this is the best statue interpretation of Superman that's been done.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks really, really, really good. Now, it's in all fairness, it's hard to say that when you haven't seen it in person.
It's very similar to their 2.0 from the Superpowers line. Yeah. The only real difference is the arms are at his waist instead of balled up in fists.
Okay.
So it's the whole sculpt of his body and even the portrait is extremely similar. Yeah. I eventually sold that because 1/6 just wasn't doing it for me anymore.
Yep.
I wanted to get 1/4 from Sideshow. If I can get that same sculpt in 1/3,
yeah, sold.
No question about it.
I can envision putting this next to like my Batman Hush Batcave, right? You put the Superman near it because he's part of that story. Yeah. Chris, you mentioned this recently. I don't remember which video it was about how, these will complement collections as well. You don't have to have 30 of them in a row if you don't want to do that. You can spread these around. And I mean, God, at 17 inches tall and 1/3 scale, these things are going to hold their own.
Well, and like I said, Chad and I have been talking about this behind the scenes for quite some time. And, he calls me and we talk and we pick each other's brains and things like that, just to try to kind of get a pulse of the community. And one thing that I've said for a long time is it is frustrating as a collector. And you guys all know if they don't make the characters we want, and it's the same ones over and over again. Now, I tip my hat to Sideshow. They've done Deathstroke recently and Penguin and some of these other characters, which is great. So at least they're listening. But in talking with Chad, I'm thinking, okay, so like I ad nauseum, I know I bring up Clayface all the freaking time, and I think we were talking about him one day and just the idea of complementing the collection, like you said, and especially these characters, like how many people out there are going to buy a 1/3 scale Mad Hatter? Okay, maybe not a ton.
Right.
But if you do a 3rd scale Mad Hatter bust that you can set beside the Joker or set beside Batman or whoever, it's perfectly going to complement. It's like what it reminds me of is how great, like Jeff Delaney, his brand new Legendary Beast Hulk, like how great does that look? But then they also did that bust stand, that also looked really impressive. And that's what kind of reminds me of a little bit, the fact that you can have this great complementary piece that's going to represent the character, but not take up as much room as something with a big base or something with a $2,000 price point. Right. And I just think it's a brilliant move. And like he brought up Bowen, I think that's exactly correct in the fact that you could do a lot of these if you want to, or you can just do supplemental pieces here and there. But for me, hell yeah, I want a Clayface. Hell yeah, I want a Talia al Ghul. Like people aren't going to make those.
Chris, the other thing we didn't talk about, we talked about space friendly. We talked about, price friendly, shipping friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking sub $100. I would bet.
It's got to be.
Almost all of them.
Got to be. That's what Dark Ranger Kevin says. Best part without these massive bases, low shipping.
Yep.
And so I really feel like Chad has hit a really good point here, like a really good. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, like a good
nerve.
A good landing spot or something. Because I do feel like this has the possibility of being really, really cool.
Yep.
And the more I think about it, the more I get on board with it. And I am still excited about full 1/3 scale. I'm still going to collect those where I can, but this is just really exciting for me. And I know that a lot of collectors out there feel the same. So, I'm excited to see so many people in the chat agree and are excited about it. It's just cool. I'm excited. Yep. Very, very cool.
It's the first something like this in quite some time.
Yeah.
And honestly, in terms of kind of commitment to the community and commitment to, meeting the community where the community's at in terms of affordability and what we're asking for and those kinds of things. There are very few things in this hobby right now that feel like that. And give credit where credit is due. One of those areas is Sideshow and their commitment to kind of keeping their quarter scales within a reasonable price range, and their shipping usually is very reasonable. To me, that feels like a commitment. They haven't, jacked their price to $1,000, which, by the way, they easily could. With third scales being what they are, Sideshow easily could have gone $900, $1,000, and so I think this feels really good. I think Chad's onto something.
I'm excited too, because it kind of reminds me of like the XM Sanity display, to where you don't get all of the characters on all of them. They're almost like cut in half on the base. So, like you said, for example, like people that don't want to spend like the $2,000 on a 1/3 scale anymore, for like almost the same price, you can now get like 5 or 6 characters for the same price as a 1/3 scale statue of a full figure.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's game changing for a lot of collectors because, like Dan said, Tweeterhead's meeting fans where they are right now. And right now the hobby is struggling, I would say. I mean, there's a lot of people that are leaving or have left or are frustrated with the hobby right now. Dan and I had a conversation earlier. Dan was frustrated with some things in the hobby. Like, it's just, these things kind of ebb and flow at times, but I like the idea that this is going to give that third scale, or somebody that's wanted always. I mean, I had somebody comment on a video today that said, Chris, I'll never be able to do third scale. Like, it's always my dream to do third scale, but I don't have the space and I'll never be able to afford it. And now you can afford, at least hopefully, it's definitely a much better price point. I just think it offers something new and unique to the collector. Like you said, that hasn't been offered in a long time.
Yep.
Really long time. Lane Kramer says $2 super chat. So new UPS ship rates, ouch, for statues. And that's the problem, is that the shipping prices are awful, as we know. So let's transition really quick. This is going to be a real quick topic before we look at photos, but somebody asked the question in the Facebook group about a buyer's market and what the current state of selling is. How would you guys describe the current state of selling right now?
Challenging.
Perfect. Perfect word. I mean,
yeah. Tell me why.
People are just being more careful with how they spend their money, and perhaps the new shiny thing is more exciting than last year's product. But let me add, if you have a Sideshow She-Hulk, I'm in the market.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So I think this was like a topic I wanted to bring up, and I forgot to mention it to you. So, like, it always goes back to, well, is it because the market's saturated right now? Like, would you guys all agree that's why?
Super saturated. Yes.
Yeah.
But at the same point, so here's my theory. So like at the same time, prices of statues are going up, to where I feel like now more people might start focusing on older pieces, and maybe like older pieces will start like retaining their value a little bit more, and people will start chasing the older pieces versus paying like $2,000 for a 1/3 scale statue.
Well, I feel like Dan and Jeff, I feel like recently in the last couple months, you guys have been on the hunt for older pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Couple,
not a ton, but a couple. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How has that experience been for you? Like, are you finding the prices to be pretty good when you have found it? Like, I think Dan, you were looking for that Rebel.
Yeah, and haven't found. Well, Jeff sent me a lead on one the other day. Was just bad timing. It's still not an inexpensive piece. So it was a little bit more reasonable than I'd seen it, but still not an expensive piece. And it was just bad timing because I just bought like 2 or 3 statues Like,
But that's one that's popular and that went up in price. If you look, all right, so Chris, look at your Arkham line. So back in the day, how much was the Arkham line? Like $900 maybe?
Yeah, the first couple started out at 900 and slowly crept over time.
And then if you look at that maybe like a year or two ago, you probably wouldn't even get that. You probably have to sell it for less. So like my instinct or my theory, whatever you want to call it, is I feel like those might hold their value now. Because now if you look at third scales being so much money, almost like 2,000, I feel like if you sold that for like 1,100, 1,200, some of those pieces, I feel like you probably get it. Maybe not right this second today, but over the next few months to the next year, I feel like that's going to happen with older pieces.
It's very, very possible. I do feel like I have seen the surge of people looking for pieces. And with that, you have to be really careful because Eric, God bless Eric, he has weeded out so many people that have popped into the groups recently that are, just blatant scammers. Yeah, just scammers.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's just been like, Eric, what are you seeing? Like, it just feels like it's wildfire all of a sudden.
Well, that was the other thing. I was like, well, is the market saturated or are just people scared to purchase on Facebook because so many people were getting scammed? But yeah, ever since you threw me in as a moderator, I just went on a mad tear and just got rid of so many accounts that were fake. I spent a lot of time just, weeding through each account. I have past experience. I used to work for a cell phone forum dealing with, fake accounts and, fake IP, duplicate IP addresses and, people scamming, all of it. So I'm pretty good at weeding my way. I don't want to give out tricks of what I do to find the account, but I got rid of a lot of fake accounts and I just wish I could do that and maybe even just share that database with the other groups so the other groups can improve as well and people would feel more comfortable buying again on Facebook.
Well, if all things art doesn't work out, you should change your channel to the Statue Bloodhound.
yeah, right?
Because you can sniff it out, no problem, no doubt about it.
It's funny because somebody actually wanted to hire me for not even finding statue scammers. They wanted to hire me to see if they're help them with a husband that was cheating on a wife, and I was like, no, that's not really my expertise.
Wow.
I might be a private investigator for something.
Yeah.
I'm more into the cyber stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, and it goes back to just stuff we've recommended on the channel before is if you are somebody that is in the market, and I do agree. I think that there are people that are a little bit intimidated or scared right now because you've heard the horror stories. Yeah. But the best thing to do again is, if you don't know somebody, if you know them, that's great. If you've dealt with them before and you've had positive experiences, great. But if you haven't, protect yourself when you send the money, do it, goods and services or whatever to protect yourself if you use PayPal or whatever, that's what I'm familiar with. But also ask for a video. Ask, somebody might send you a blurry photo and they say, oh, it's still in the box. Have them open it up. Have them show that they actually have the product. Because I wouldn't trust a photo anymore. I would definitely have them say, hey, it's today's date, show themselves on camera. Because if they want to sell it bad enough, they will be willing to do that. It takes just minutes out of their day. Any other advice you guys would recommend when you're buying? But I do feel like it really is the buyer's market right now. I think you can get some really great deals.
Yeah, I mean, if it's someone that you don't know, you can always post in one of the buy sell trade groups to see if someone can, give a reference for that person or vouch for that person. That can help sometimes. I was lucky enough when I was looking for my Red Sonja to find an established person in the community that was willing to part with theirs. But for my Rebel Terminator, it wasn't even really a statue collector. It was literally a guy who bought it at a secondhand shop in his neighborhood and threw it up on eBay, and I made him an offer. And he sent me a lot of pictures, so I didn't ask him for a video, but I did trust him, and it worked out. But yeah, you got to be very, very careful. I put up a want to buy ad for that Sideshow She-Hulk, and I had maybe 7 scammers contact me.
That is insane.
That's crazy.
And again, tell the people here, what made you realize it was probably a scammer?
Well, I mean, the last thing I always say in my post is PM me if you have one available. And there are so many scammers, and maybe they're bots, I don't know, who will respond, PM me.
Yeah.
Well, I just told you to PM me.
Right.
I don't want to PM you.
Right.
So that's the thing. And then for some reason, I don't know why, and maybe this is a bot thing again. Maybe it's a computer doing all this. A lot of these scammers have 2 first names. You know, their last name is a first name.
Yeah.
It's really, really common. It's like weird. It's like Chris Michael. It's really strange.
It is that don't trust anybody with 2 first names. My middle name is a first name too. So, it's crazy.
But am I right about that? I mean, Eric,
Yeah.
a lot of them have 2 first
Yeah,
names.
like I said, I can give away a lot of secrets. I don't, you never know if the scammers are watching, so I don't want to mention.
Oh, maybe I should shut up. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
That's fine.
But I mean, with that aside, we can say, take a look at their profile.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's the first thing you can do, because you could, if they like work at weird places that don't make any sense, and like, it's like, there's so many like blatant red flags when you look at somebody's profile.
Right.
We do the same thing when we're looking to accept somebody into the group. Like, have they answered the questions? Have they, like, have they posted anything in the last 20 years, or they just created an account today?
Yeah.
Those are usually red flags.
Yeah, a lot of them are new members, like you said.
Yeah, brand new members that have never done anything in the group or anything like that. And then again, like for me, having them send you a video is really important. I don't know, anything else you guys can think of that you
I
would
don't know. Can the
request?
regular members see if other people are new members, or is that only like a moderator, administrator?
I think you can see who's all in the group, and I think it says when they join. I think.
Okay.
So
yeah, if not,
Golden
just
Boy-
reach out to one of the moderators and ask for help. We can look into it for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Golden
Bork,
Boy's comment is right. He says a lot of scammers are female profiles that look like soccer moms.
Yeah,
It's true.
even the guys, a lot of them like just like too professional looking photos, and it's a lot of family, like professional photography shots, because they're taking the the images off the internet. It's coming like from professional photo sites and stuff.
And they're only members of buy-sell trade groups.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, they're not in the regular groups.
Rick says scammers I would only buy from well-known YouTubers like Rogues, Jim, X. Money Wasted Collecting says I've bought from Dan and Chris a couple times, and they always deliver quality care in the item sent. That's awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. That means a lot to us. So yeah, it is funny. Like if you get a friend request from a really, really hot supermodel,
Accept it.
I get those a lot, and I'm like, okay, this is great. And then I look at the photos, and I look at the 2 pictures that they have posted since the last 10 years, and I'm like, I don't think this is probably who that actually is. So again, just do your research. Just be careful. And a lot of people in the comments are saying that they don't trust Facebook, and that's a shame. I wish we could come up with a way to, and maybe that's what we should do. Is maybe we should try to come up with some sort of like verified group.
I have a way to do that if you really want to do it.
I do. I think that would be great to do some sort of verified group where
we can do it straight from the Facebook group. So, like I said,
trusted sellers.
Right, trusted sellers.
My history goes back to cell phones. I used to be like a cell phone administrator. So one of the groups that we used to do is, anybody that wanted to sell something would have to get a verification code from like an administrator, like say, a jumble of numbers, M, B, V, T, whatever. We give them that 4, letter code, and they have to write it on a piece of paper and put it next to the statue, the item, and that verifies that they have it before they could sell. But that would involve us having to give out codes and then approving posts. So it's a lot more work, but it would.
Well, and that all sounds great, but what I was talking about was more just like a blue check mark that says that these are trusted sellers, that these are people that have dealt with someone, they have positive feedback, kind of like an eBay feedback score type of thing. Yeah. Where, if you have 100% feedback or something like that, like that's what I wish we could somehow do. And maybe that's something that we'll talk about. And, we'll have the buy, sell, trade group, but maybe we could start another group where everybody in it has been a verified seller. And then that way you can get, if you're in that group, you know that you're going to have a good experience, or at least hopefully have a good experience. Because I feel like there's been so many great positives. Like I see them all the time where people say, oh, thank John. I thank John for such a great experience. And thank you for the statue. I mean, people post those all the time. So if we can collect that and share it, so you feel safe for buying, because it is scary right now, because you just don't know. I mean, God, 7 people hit up Jeff that were scammers. I mean, that's insane. And that's been what, a week ago?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, would you guys be interested in something like that? I mean, if we can
Sure.
put something together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Bat Kid Voodoo says accounts are hacked all the time, Chris. A verified account could easily be taken over. I mean, that's a good point. I don't know.
It's gotten better though, at least in the Batman by Pro Trade Group.
Yeah. I know it's a kind of a big ask in a way, but I feel most people would be okay doing like a video conference to see what they would be buying and watching it get packed if you don't know the person well. And again, if somebody's not willing to do that, don't buy from them.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I mean, unless you're desperate. I mean, I have bought statues before just based on photos. But in this day and age, I feel like if somebody is willing to, I mean, God, everybody's got a freaking phone, right? I mean, everybody's got this thing where you can video conference and, you know, show exactly what's up with the statue. And so I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Anything else you guys want to add?
No, I think we were jumping around a little bit.
Sideshow She-Hulk.
That's right. Give this man this. Okay, I'm going to blow him up right here.
Exclusive.
This
Sideshow,
face.
I want that statue. Please. Someone's got that in a box. They're not even displaying it.
Yep. This man is willing to pay triple.
He's willing to
No. I'm willing to pay market value.
Yeah, fair market value would be great. And make sure that it's at the optimal viewing angle, right, Sideshow?
Yes. Well,
Yes.
That statue has more than one.
That's right. Well, and I do want to say we this is a little mini off topic, but kind of going back to the original topic that I just want to give a shout out to companies like Sideshow and Tweeterhead. And they are American-based companies, and I feel like they are really trying to do the best continually to keep the prices as low as they can, which is really nice. I mean, I think that is refreshing. And I don't know, I just can't say that enough, that where other companies are like just literally going through the roof right now. And again, they're companies that I love, but it's getting harder and harder to cough up that kind of money across the board. And I don't know why it's so expensive, but it just is. And so again, anytime we have a $300 bust that's third scale like that, that brings a tear to my eye because it's so nice and refreshing.
Yeah.
So
sure
anyway, I just want to say that. Alex says, Eric B, sell me your penguin.
I cannot do that. That is one of my favorite statues.
I cannot do that.
I cannot do that. Oh, here you go.
Is he not available anymore?
Just wait for the inevitable new She-Hulk PF. It's like the day you finally find one, Sideshow will premiere a new She-Hulk. Yeah, that's the way it works.
That's okay. I'll have two. I can do
That's
that.
right. That's right. All right. Let me get this banner off of here. And you guys ready to look at some photos?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Let's do it. All righty. Let's start with this guy. This is the Blade 1/3 scale from PCS, starting to ship. What is your initial impressions of how this guy turned out?
Looks really good to me.
Yeah, I love it.
Again, these are just some in-hand photos, and usually in-hand photos are pretty crappy, but I feel like I get a pretty good idea of how this turned out, and I agree. I think the base is really cool. Definitely a base of the year candidate. I have been compiling all of your nominations, guys, and just about done. We'll start doing the voting process for the Batsies here real soon. But definitely a cool base. I think it's one of the coolest bases of the year.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look how cool that is.
Yep.
Details look great. Again, this is shipping from PCS. Can't tell if that has a scratch on the nose. That might have had a paint blemish.
And this is waitlisted at PCS and Sideshow. It's gone.
Crazy how popular it is.
Yeah.
So you have two different portraits. You got the masked or the glasses and the non-glasses. But looking good.
Yeah.
Definitely has some Wesley Snipes vibes.
Looks like the prototype.
Yeah, it really does. This statue right here came out of nowhere.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Did Mr. Delaney purchase this one?
No, but I will. I'm just deciding. I think this is going to be a large edition size. So I can order it now and get the double rewards, which folks ends tomorrow night. The double rewards ends tomorrow.
Great reminder.
Or I can wait till it comes out and use our educator discount and get 15% off. So
Is that for only in stock stuff?
that is only for in stock stuff.
In stock stuff. I guess I had forgotten that. So thank you for the reminder.
So like even stuff like that Ivy variant, the green Ivy variant that's almost sold out, you can get your 15% off on that piece.
That's awesome.
I was just going to quickly say her arm does block her face, so it's definitely a optimal viewing angle candidate.
Yeah, it's one of these ones that you kind of want it more like that.
Might
so
be
it
like a
doesn't
good,
block.
like a mid-shelf, lower shelf piece too.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'd be really difficult, depending on the angle the height. But I mean,
it's not as dramatic a blockage as the Queen Studios Wonder Woman because the Red Sonja, she's really lunging forward.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see a lot. You can see her face. No problem.
It's really nice. Was this Mark Newman?
No, this is Steve Lord, the same
that's right.
sculptor who did the last one.
That's right. They just do such a great job on the female. I still feel like they're the best in the business.
They are.
For female portraits, body sculpts, just absolutely fantastic. I feel like every Red Sonja that they've done has been awesome. And this one's definitely a little bit more dynamic than their last one, which is awesome to see.
Yeah. I think they'd look good side by side.
Yeah, I do too. Again, like it's super dynamic here. You can really get a feel for how far she's lunging forward.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously,
you can see, if you zoom in on that base a little bit, you can see there are faces in there. There's skulls. Oh, wow. So it's like the souls of the people that she's killed in torment.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they're part of it's reaching up to grab her leg.
Wow. Oh yeah, it's like arm.
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how far forward she was going. Wow, that's
look at that.
Yeah, I think that whole boot is going to be part of the base.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got a key in the knee right there.
Yep.
That would make sense. And again, Sideshow does such a great job of these bases. Like they've really figured out the engineering. I haven't heard of anybody's over the years having any sort of lean since they started doing these unique pieces. And I do feel like they are some of the best in the business at creating super dynamic statues that just look great. Really great. Really great detail on this one. You can see the blood dripping off. Yeah, just a really beautiful statue. And that one is up for pre-order right now, like Jeff said.
Oh, sorry, Jeff. Got your message.
I'm also tempted to pick up the second one that they did. I have the third, but I love that second one. It's just fantastic.
I think the third one does look. I think that's probably my favorite. That's the one where she's just standing there, right?
Yep, that's my favorite as well.
Yeah, I just love that sculpt. I think it's one of Sideshow's best.
Yep.
Really love it. Let's move on to J&D. We saw just a teaser on our last show, but this is the Indiana Jones Last Crusade. Sean Connery and of course Indiana Jones himself. I don't think I've really had a chance to pick your brains on these guys. What do you think of the sculpts overall?
Yeah, I was curious to see what Dan thought of this because I know he's the big Indiana Jones. Like when I first saw it, I thought it was okay, but after hearing all the stuff, now I'm kind of like not seeing it as much as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I apologize in advance to anybody who's picking this up because I am a huge Indiana Jones fan. I feel like, Chris, I agree with your commentary on Senior. I think Henry Jones looks really good. I think he's, God, I think that's 97%. You know what I mean? That's really, in my mind, that's really close.
It's unbelievably good.
Like I can't imagine getting better than that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It looks phenomenal. Indy, on the other hand, no, they missed the mark. I'm not even sure that looks like Harrison Ford. I mean, I can tell who they're going for, but to me, his features look exaggerated. They gave him the tired, sad J&D treatment. And it's it's a strange one for me too, in that the more I look at it, the less it looks like him. If he wasn't in the Indiana Jones costume, I think I don't know. It just looks way off the mark to me.
I do feel like, especially that's why I keep zooming in. Like, I feel like it looks pretty good from the nose down. But I feel like it's the eye somewhere where it loses it. And I mean, I do think it looks, I mean, I could tell it's Harrison Ford, but I do feel like if they just keep tweaking it, I think we would be better. Like I said, the nose down for me I feel like it's pretty darn close.
The other thing is, Chris, is and I know this is really being, in some ways, nitpicky, I guess. His posture is way off. Harrison Ford has a really, to me, iconic kind of posture, right? He's kind of barrel chested in a way, right? He's kind of got that chest out all the time. This one looks like he's hunched over. If you look at the way that he is, even whether it says Han Solo or Indiana Jones or anything else, he has this kind of chest forward posture, and his posture is way off there. And, when you're creating a piece like this, when it's literally just the character standing there with no story being told with the base or anything else, it makes it easier to kind of pick it apart like this. So I realize I sound harsh, and I apologize to anybody who's getting it, who loves it, because I get it, but I just think they missed the mark.
Obviously this comes with a very steep price point as well. So, is it good enough? I mean, I feel like this is a good example. I think of what you're talking about. Like I feel like there's elements that's close. Like this particular photo, I don't think it looks as good. I feel like it looks more like the Indiana Jones ride, Indiana Jones from Disneyland.
And, Chris, you made a comment too in your video about silicone sometimes perhaps causing some of the issues here. I notice a lot of J&D sculpts, and again, this might be just for my eyes, the way that I see them. The faces, they tend to get too narrow. Like the eyes are too close together. The face looks too narrow. And now some of that could be photography, that can happen. I know that.
Yeah, absolutely. And having a J&D piece in hand, like it really is better in person. It is really shocking.
Yeah. And in all fairness, I haven't seen this in person. And so,
yeah, we're just looking off of photos.
Yeah, just looking out at photos.
I think I might have said it in my video that, like, I feel like when they do these sculpts and they show them, I wish that they would just have that. Like, I don't know why it needs to be silicone. Like, why can't it just be a sculpt like that?
Yeah.
Do you think that it's the silicone that also ages the sculpt a little bit? I don't know if you guys saw the comparison pics that I posted in my group.
Yep.
Where the face looked very similar. It was a very similar pose or whatever. But
this one?
No, it's a different one. It's not that one either.
Okay.
And it almost looked like maybe even the portrait was based on that photo that I compared it to, but the sculpt looks 10 years older.
Yep.
And it just seems fairly consistent, especially with their male pieces for some reason, as opposed to their female pieces, that the character just looks older.
There's an ashiness to the skin, right? They don't seem to be able to get the skin color. And I wonder if it's because, Jeff, with the silicone, to tone down the natural silicone color, I don't know, it tends to lean gray.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which ages it. And then I think this narrowing and the sad expression, I don't know where it comes from, and maybe that's why we're not seeing it in the senior here, because he's a gentleman in his early 80s, probably, in this, character. So yeah, I don't know.
I think it's like 80% myself.
Yeah, I would agree.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it's not 100. Jeff Morris mentioned Scott Bakula, and that kind of threw me for a loop, because I do see quite a bit of Scott Bakula here.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like with all like if you take off his hat, like if I look at just the face, not the hat, anything, I could tell it's him. But like I said, like all of their statues seem aged looking for some reason.
Yeah.
I also wonder, why are they not showing it without the hat? They showed Henry without the hat.
Yep.
Why aren't they showing Indy without the hat?
Good question.
It's a good question. Maybe he doesn't have a full head of hair up there.
Save on cost.
Maybe so. Maybe a lot less rooted hair if they
But
just
I
attach
don't
the
want to
hat.
come off as a J&D basher because I'm not.
That'd be weird.
I saw Mira in person and she's awesome. I mean, she's really awesome.
I'm going to be unboxing this one probably next week or maybe this weekend. So I'll finally get to see her in person too. So
Mira?
I'm excited. Yeah,
they
Mira.
did that Pattinson Batman. They gave him a whole entire face under the cowl. So it's not like they were trying to save money on that one.
Yeah.
Right.
At least give him hair. I guess maybe it's rooted though. Yeah.
Let's move on to some other pieces. We've got Scar Predator. This is one that went up for a pre-order this week. Whoops, sorry about that. I don't know what happened there.
Quantum Leap statue.
All right, there we go. This one's going up for pre-order, and this is going to be a big piece, expensive piece.
That's like about 5 hours.
Yeah, there's so many Predator collectors out there that really love these. I don't know enough about them, but I think that the sculpts look really nice.
Yeah,
it's a good thing I'm not a Predator collector because these statues to me are awesome. I think they're fun.
They are.
And they are space hogs. They are massive pieces.
Yep.
But really cool. I should have a reaction video on the channel here this week, probably, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But it's a fun piece. It's got LED illumination, limited edition to 300 pieces on the deluxe. So it's cool stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the bonus parts.
Yeah, there's the lineup. So yeah, imagine that on your dining room table. And there's the deluxe portrait. Rage face. Or ragier face, I guess you could say.
Ragier.
This is a new piece from Iron Studios. This is a quarter scale Hellboy.
Looks big.
I don't know if you guys had a chance to see these or not.
Yeah.
I haven't.
I feel like they look pretty good. What do you guys think?
Is this based on the new Hellboy?
No, I think this is
Ron Perlman.
It's
Ron Perlman. Supposed to be Ron Perlman anyway.
Looks good to me.
Yeah, I like it. That looks good right there.
Yeah, so say I think it looks pretty decent. Really, I mean, I don't know if I hate when they do this against the black background.
Yeah,
I feel like it just does nothing for the statue. I wish they would do something different, but because the red looks a little odd to me. Kind of get spray painted on or something. But
yeah, it's too bright. I think they oversaturated the photo when they edited it, probably.
Yeah,
but
I think in person to look a lot better.
You know what's funny? What we were talking about older statues earlier, and one that I've seen at pretty reasonable prices just recently for some reason is the sideshow. I think it's Sideshow Hellboy, where he's kind of on a perch. He's crouched on a. I don't know if it's a building top or if he's on a gargoyle.
Oh yeah, that's Sideshow.
That's Sideshow, right? That's a cool piece. I like that piece.
It is a cool piece. I liked it. Gosh, I wonder how long that. It's maybe five years ago or maybe or more. I don't know, but I like that one too. But anyway, this is quarter scale. It has you can see the different head swap outs there, horns or no horns, and the different arm swap out, gun up or gun out. So fun piece.
Nice.
And then you got the tail in the back and some detail back there.
Nice.
But anyway, I had not really heard of this one at all coming, so I thought maybe some of you'd want to see it. We're about a week late, but this is Halloween. Michael Myers, this is from PCS, and this is the half scale piece. I think this already waitlisted, didn't it? I think if I remember right.
It did.
So that says a lot about this.
It's a really good price.
What was the price?
Well, the suggested price is $2,000, but if you get it from them, you get 10% back in rewards.
That's great.
So $1,800 kind of.
So you get a half scale for about a third scale price these days.
Yeah.
Love the sculpt. Obviously, that William Shatner mask is so well done. So not everybody gets it right, but I feel like they did a really good job with this one. Got the nodding head.
The only negative I heard this week about this piece is someone said they've never seen that character so clean.
Oh
that
yeah.
mask should be grimied up quite a bit.
I would think that's something that Ant would consider in production.
You would think.
You
It does
know,
look very clean.
yeah, it really does. So yeah, I think that'd be something that they could easily do. But we'll see.
It's GQ, Mikey.
That's right. I love it. Anyway, I think that looks fun. This I threw in here. This is again from our friends at Tweeterhead. This is that new Elvira, but I hadn't seen pictures of her really just in a studio, and I think she looks really lovely.
She does.
I think this has been a really, really popular piece for them.
Well, the Tweeterhead one's gone.
Yeah, it did sell out.
Yeah.
So that says a lot.
I think I prefer this one. I was really tempted by the Tweeterhead one just because of the real small edition size, but I think I like this sultry expression better.
I did too.
I agree. Same.
Yeah, I liked it. They also had their myths and monsters. This was one of the recent sideshow events, but just cool to see these under natural lighting or better lighting.
Jeff, you saw this one in person, right?
I did.
Really tempted by this one. Is this kind of their interpretation of Creature from the Black Lagoon, or is this a whole separate thing?
No, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's the impression I got because this was at San Diego too, right?
No, you saw this at Palooza.
I saw it at Monsterpalooza.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of Gilman.
This is
Gilman.
Or the He-Man one.
Yeah, you're thinking of Merman.
Merman, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm seriously considering this one now to go with my newfound monsters line.
Yeah, who knew Dan would starting to collect monsters, right?
You know what, Dan? I did the same thing. I did not order this until Sideshow showed their Frankenstein's monster, and then I ordered both.
Oh, you did? So you've got this one on PO too. Did you go direct through Tweeterhead?
I did not. I went through Sideshow. I had points to use.
Yeah.
Got to use those points.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sideshow, this one went up for pre-order. I think most of us in this chat have the flesh color Poison Ivy from Sideshow. It's the quarter scale, and then obviously they teased a variant. People have been really kind of hit or miss about this one. They don't love the color of the cheeks. However, in hand it looks much more subdued. What do you guys think of it?
People are digging the shade of green when they get it in person.
Yeah.
Obviously, they changed the monster color as well. So there is some differences. Obviously, I think Jeff Delaney mentioned or pointed out last time that the other ones have like their tights, whereas this one is just her. She doesn't have those stockings. She doesn't have those tights on. So
I meant to ask you every time you say that. So is it like a mixed media tights on her?
Well,
no.
What, like
with the?
Oh, you mean just like the line, like the across the thigh, like the?
Well, to begin with, it's a different shade of green on the legs than on the shoulders.
Okay.
So,
but there's no like texture or weird.
I think that they might have eliminated some of the like pull lines on this sculpt that exist on the regular skin version.
See, I got the impression that this was just all her skin. That this was
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to go back.
These are in-hand photos from a collector, and you could see that the blush is a lot more subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On her cheeks. But I do think this turned out really nice. I still prefer the one I have.
There's only a few of these left at Sideshow.
And only an edition size of 150, so it's pretty unheard of that this is not sold out already.
Yeah, it's going to sell out real soon.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. But you could really get a feel for that green. It's that really nice light green. I like it.
Yeah.
But I think she turned out really nice.
It's been the year of Ivy.
Oh my God, has it ever?
Yeah.
Guess what?
What?
I get my Ivy on Monday.
The Prime 1?
Prime 1.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned, guys. Live unboxing. But anyway, she looks great. So I actually have received an email from this company. This is Pure Arts, and they've actually already shown me what Batman and Superman look like in much more greater detail. And I believe these are going to be 1/8 scale.
That's right.
So I don't really understand the thinking there, but this is going to go up for pre-order here really soon, maybe even tomorrow if I remember right.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
anyway, so these are the teasers. We have Superman and Batman, and somebody did post that they were kind of shown on display, so you can kind of see what Batman is going to look like. Again, we'll have better photos tomorrow, but you can see Batman there, and then Superman with kind of a dynamic cape.
Oh my, look at that.
So yeah, so we got some 1/8 scale superheroes coming from Pure Arts, but again, these are the teasers, so obviously we'll see it in better detail here real shortly. But
Those capes don't look the same.
actually, they don't. I'm just realizing that they don't look the same. So maybe that's not what we're seeing. Is that rock base the same? I don't know.
I don't know.
Hard to tell, but
Yeah.
anyway, maybe they've changed it since then. So we'll see. But anyway, stay tuned. This was done by Jay Sia. This is the 3rd scale Doomsday. This is just the kind of the concept of what they're thinking for him. What do you guys think of the concept?
It's going to be huge.
It's gonna be a crazy huge.
Oh my God! Could you imagine how big this is going to be?
Huge.
What do you think of what do you think of the base?
I think it looks great.
It's like a destroyed car. Do you think it's like a throwback to that Superman cover where he's like holding the car up in the air?
Could be. You could see the wheel kind of lunging toward you, which is cool.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a car door, there's the mirror, and then he's holding the engine in his hand.
You can
Oh,
see
that's what that is. That's fun.
So is it a cop car? Because I can see part of Metropolis in the base too. See, it said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, so it might be a cop car. I'm not sure.
That's cool. Anyway, it's cool that
Oh, yeah,
we're
you can see
getting
the-
some concepts.
The grill with the headlights.
Yeah.
And you can also see that it's approved. That means DC has approved it. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this guy. Guess who ordered this week?
Chris Michael.
Chris Michael. The man with 2 first names.
The man with 2 first names.
Yep, I did it. Dan, have you ordered it yet?
No, but finger is on the trigger. Put it that way.
I did order this week. I ordered direct from Prime One, and I did just order the regular. Yeah, this is basically the regular. The angry Batman portrait is what comes with the regular. I do like the other portraits, especially the deluxe crocodile face,
Yeah,
and also I really like the Batman with the gas or the respirator.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I wouldn't display him. I just like the look of the angry face with the regular Killer Croc portrait, so that's why I ordered the regular.
I will likely end up ordering this, but just not yet.
I do like the way that looks.
I love the respirator portrait, and it could be for no other reason that it's just something different.
Yeah.
So I do like that a lot.
Yeah, that looks
I like
great.
the crocodile head. Actually, there's one picture, Chris, that you showed in your hit or miss video that showed him with the crocodile head on, and it was kind of like looking up at the statue.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of sold me on it. I was like that, with the regular crocodile head, but kind of from that angle. Yeah, that looks awesome.
It does look awesome.
What was the price on this?
14 or 16?
14 and 16.
Yeah, 14 and 16. And that's quarter scale, but it's a big piece.
Yeah.
This has been confirmed to be kind of a nod to the animated series look.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's definitely that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it, but I feel like it's a little cartoony for me.
Yeah.
And that's just the rest of the statue isn't cartoony. But I do like this look a lot. But at the end of the day, I think I want just a regular Croc portrait. There's the regular head. But yeah, the Croc does look great. Yeah, there's the animated series head there.
So what is the bonus is the respirator
Correct.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's coming home to the Batcave, and hopefully it'll come to Rocket City as well.
Oh yeah, I can. I'm 98%. It's
Yeah.
more a matter of when than if.
Yeah.
My PO list is getting uncomfortably long at this point.
Yep, I hear you. There's the regular right there. That's the version of the regular.
Yeah, I like that too. That's awesome.
This is from Regal Robot. This is the new Rancor maquette that they're coming out with. This company specializes in bringing the most accurate, kind of like true to life, true to real prop from the film.
And they do a good job.
They do a good job, and this is a really neat piece. I mean, you could tell it doesn't have as much detail as maybe some of the other statues. Like Sideshow did that great statue a couple years back, but this is it was just a puppet. It was just a little puppet, and there you can see like the concept of him. There's two different versions. This one's really cool. It actually comes with like storyboards, and it's original Phil Tippett sketches. So you get one of 100 unique sketches. So you could see it. You get one of his actual sketches.
Wow,
that's cool.
That was the concept for the Rancor, and I think that's really neat. And then again, here's some. There he is now, much older.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not collecting Regal Robot. You go broke doing that too.
Oh, they're incredibly expensive, but they're really neat. There's two different versions. There's a Legacy edition, which is what you see here, and then there's also just a signature where you get his signature on it. So pretty cool.
The weapons that they do, they released the gaffy stick, the sand people, the sand person, like the gaffy stick thing, and it 100% accurate to the movie. It was just outstanding. I mean, really, really nice, and the whole like wall mounting unit was really nice, the whole bit, and it was. But I think it was like $4,000 or something. But.
Wow, that's crazy. I know we have some fans of these.
Yeah, I just ordered that today.
Me too.
Brand new cover here, which is again been very. Who's the artist on this?
Nathan Zerdy.
Yeah, right there, Nathan Zerdy.
Yep.
And then I went to his website and ordered a bunch of Disney covers as well.
That's funny. But these have been real popular. These tattoo covers. Give a shout out to Matt Martin, who apparently bought yet again more really great art. This is from Jason Fabok, a couple commissions.
Two of the best Fabok commissions I've seen.
I got Batman there, and then also Joker. I love the Joker.
This one is ridiculously good.
So very, very cool. I just commissioned, I told the guys I commissioned 3 new David Finch commissions for this weekend. So I'm really excited to see how those turn out. Hopefully he'll be able to get to all 3. And so, yeah, very excited. Also got on the list for Lee Bermejo this week.
Oh, nice.
Iron Studios. This is Peter Pan. This is 10 scale. Thought this one was a lot of fun.
Wow, look at that.
That's cool.
It comes in 2 different versions. So there's the whole shebang here, which is great with TikTok. And then there's also just this version where you can just have Peter Pan and Hook fighting.
Huh.
So.
And save about $500.
500?
I think this is like the other one they did where the versions are like 300 and 800.
Okay. I just thought it was a lot of fun with Smee, and
yeah,
I love Peter Pan, so this is really cool. Neat piece from them. Again, 10 scale. They also have a 10 scale Doc Ock. This is going to be a pretty big piece.
Yeah.
For 10 scale. I have no idea what this is, but this is another one that they are releasing. Maybe somebody in the chat would know. But it looks like there's a couple different versions as well.
Jeff Delaney, are you all in on J. Scott Campbell's The Fairy Tale pieces?
No, I'm not all in.
You're not all in.
Extremely selective.
Okay.
I'm very tempted by the new one.
Did you ever get Alice?
No, I've been tempted a few times because a couple have come up with really good prices, like
Yep.
200 or 250. But I like the height of the Evil Queen and Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
And Alice is quite a bit shorter.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm trying not to, space is such a huge problem.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about Sultana. That's the name of it.
Sultana.
Yeah, that looks good.
But I'm not sure I'm going to go back and get any of the previous ones.
Okay.
But you have Red Riding Hood, right?
I do that and
Yeah.
the Evil Queen.
That's the Red Riding Hood is my favorite.
Yeah, well, Evil Queen's pretty darn good too with the magic mirror.
She is really good.
Yeah.
What happened with the I saw you posted it. The light broke. Did
Yeah.
you reach out to them and
There's two lights on it. One's at the bottom of the mirror and one's behind the mask thing. And the bottom one's not working anymore. I might contact Sideshow, but they don't have any anymore. So I'm not sure what they can do, but it still looks cool, but it looks
yeah, I couldn't tell.
doesn't look as good as when both lights were working.
Hmm.
I was almost tempted to, because J. Scott Campbell has some on his site
Yeah.
that he
Oh,
has,
maybe.
and he's charging $50 more than the retail. I'm almost tempted to buy one and then sell this one. I'm not sure if I'm going to though.
Well, keep us posted.
Yeah.
You should tell Sideshow to reach out and grab one off of his website.
Yeah. Right. There you go.
This is Slan. This is from Prime One. This is the quarter scale part of their Throne Legacy series. We've seen teases of this. Obviously, this is a pretty risque character, but beautiful nonetheless. And this did go up for pre-order this week.
Catching flies with that tongue, or
I don't know. I like how all these feathers are strategically placed.
they sure are. That's funny.
Yes. You gotta love the feathers. But I'm assuming in real life you can place your own feathers if you want to. Anyway, that's up for pre-order now, or went up for pre-order this week if you are a Slan collector. I do like the art direction of it. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll do real well.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece. Getting into some hot toys. This is from John Wick. I think the sculpt on this looks really good.
Yep.
Hot Toys continues to put out some really good stuff if you're a Hot Toys collector. Got this one here, and then we also have, oh, sorry, I had a couple more photos, looks like. Also had, of course, Keanu Reeves.
That looks good.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good. And it does have the eye movement, the purrs. I don't know if they still call it the purrs. I don't know. They used to call it that. I don't know if it's still called that, but where you can move the eyeballs around.
Mm-hmm. Interchangeable hair sculpts. Is that what that said?
And yeah, I've not. I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
And separate rolling eyeballs.
Well, it's getting way too advanced for us.
Yeah.
Who knows? Next it'll be AI something probably. Crazy. So anyway, that's from Hot Toys coming out now, and this one I really think is really good.
Yeah, it is.
I still have not watched this series yet.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. It helps if you watched Rebels.
And see, I didn't.
I would watch Rebels first.
That's a lot of catching up to do.
Well, I didn't say it was going to be easy.
Right. I accept the challenge. I think that looks fantastic.
Yeah, it looks just like him.
Yeah, it's a really good sculpt.
They erased a few pounds from his midsection, but the face was perfect.
Don't we wish we had that for all of us?
Yeah.
Really good. So let's see. Yeah, I had a lot of photos of him. This is another character. I don't know this one at all, but I did think it looked cool. Look at the cape on that. Look at the texture on that. Love that. What do you guys think of that lightsaber?
I think that's cool.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I like when they do that. It's kind of neat.
Something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you can see the texture on it. It looks great. And that is all the photos for this week.
So, guys, Prime One just posted a little while ago a factory pic of the Kong bust from the Godzilla vs. Kong Dio. So there's like 10 Kongs in a row. They look amazing. They look really cool.
And what was the other one at the beginning of the show? You said Green Lantern. I didn't get a chance
Green
to look at
Lantern.
it.
It looks like a premium format by Daniel Bell.
Okay, hold on. I got to. I'll load that photo real quick. I think you guys posted. Can I use Eric's lightened up one?
Dan's is a little bit lighter, so whichever one you think is.
Or show both. Show the tees if you can, and then show the lightened up.
Okay, let me grab them real
There's
quick.
not a
and
lot of
save them.
pixels to play with in that picture.
Yeah, they shadowed it out pretty good.
Yep.
All
It
right,
looks
well,
to me, I mean, it's hard to tell, but it looks an awful lot like Superman to me, the face.
Oh.
Yeah.
all right. Let me.
Hopefully he got Hal Jordan correctly. He shouldn't look just like Superman.
Here we go. So here is the initial tease right here. And then here is the lightened up version. Gives you a little bit of an idea.
Yeah, you can see the face and stuff.
Yeah, you can see
Yeah,
it a
you
little
can see
bit.
it there.
I think it looks pretty good.
I think it's going to be really good.
Going to be popular.
I was going to
I
say
wonder-
Daniel Bell.
I wonder if there's a light up on the ring, or is that just Sideshow doing their tricks for the photos?
I don't know. It's pretty bright.
That would look pretty cool, wouldn't it?
It would be neat. Have your own little night light.
Well, they could also have a lantern on the base that lights up.
That would be cool.
You know.
It's been a minute since they've done a light up, hasn't it? Like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Batman. I think that might have been the last one they did.
Everybody wanted it for Captain Marvel, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. Would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm just getting caught up on the chat. So yeah, a lot of good stuff. Obviously, again, this is kind of usually the slow time of year where companies kind of slow down before they start ramping back up. Our good friend Jeff here showed us or mentioned the other day that Sideshow is going to be doing the 12 Days of Sideshow again after taking last year off. And so I'm excited about that. Again, hopefully it's not just words. I think hopefully Sideshow learned their lesson from just fonts. I think was well,
you can actually register for it. In fact, they even have a countdown clock. If you go to Sideshow's main page and scroll all the way down, there's an events thing, and it shows Geeksgiving, and it shows 12 days. And if you click on 12 days, there's actually a countdown clock to when it begins.
That's exciting.
It's kind of cool.
Polly's Hideout says the Green Lantern is based off of Ethan Van Sciver's cover, which has him flying.
It does look like that, actually. Now that you say that, it looks like Green Lantern 1, like the new 52 Green Lantern #1.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
I was going to say, that sounds good. I have a feeling it'll probably end up in the Sanctuary.
It very well might. I've wanted a Hal Jordan Green Lantern.
That'd be cool. So yeah, anything else you guys want to talk about, or you guys feel like we've completed our task for this evening?
I think we have.
Clearly, again, I just want to give a major shout out to Chad. Chad, I gotta tell you. So he said, he says, it figures. Best show I've been on, and my phone dies, is what he said when he texted me. And I said, it was just so glad to have you on. He actually texted me renders of the Batman, which I don't think I can show you guys yet.
Come on.
But Batman is like, I'll try to find out. But he said he would really like to come on more often. So that's really great, because it's always great to talk industry stuff with him. And just, he's a collector like us. Like he said, like he owns the file, so he could print whatever he wants, So like he's, that's just really cool. That's just the kind of collector he is. And
what was he saying about a Batgirl already having been teased? Was he talking about a bust or a 1/6? I don't remember a Batgirl tease.
No,
he's teased me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think yeah.
I have seen her. I've seen her done.
I don't think they've teased her.
I don't think they have either. And maybe he meant that it is done, like it's been printed.
Is it the 1/3 bust, or is it a 1/6?
Third bust.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
It's really good. I think a lot of people are going to like her. And it's like if you liked the one that they did before, it's somewhat similar.
Oh, it is, with the red purse and all that.
Kind of, yeah, that kind of look.
Okay.
I don't think there's going to be a purse on this one, but
okay.
But I think, again, I just think what they're going to do is really exciting. Again, I've seen more renders than what we've shown here, and again, I'm pumped. I've talked a lot about the Legendary Beast line, how I'm all in with that one. I am, but I'm also all in with this one because I feel like, well, let me put it this way: as long as my bank account can keep up with me, I've got to quit spending so much on this stuff. I got to sell some things, but
Actually, you know what, Chris? Can you show the? I'm going to send you that Kong photo. Can you show that?
Yep.
Because it's really awesome.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking up a few of those busts, and I'm almost tempted. I don't know if they would fit on my side pedestals, but I was almost tempted to get rid of the quarter scales and maybe do like 1/3 bust. I don't know if they might be too wide though.
Oh my God, this looks great.
Doesn't it look just awesome?
Oh my God. When they first teased it, I was just kind of blown away by the fur and how good it looked. But look at that.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Wow.
That is insane. Absolutely insane. That's going to be so cool.
Can you buy just that, or is that part of a bigger thing?
Yeah,
you can buy just that.
This.
And do you remember how it was priced?
Let me go to Prime 1 real quick and see.
It's pricey. I think I want to say 35.
Kong bust. Hold on just a second.
It's a lot of hair.
It is $3,499.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So just to give you a perspective, the Godzilla bust was $1,600.
Oh,
so
wow.
this one's $3,500. It's low stock, and I think the reason is because of all the fur, obviously.
Yeah, but look at how good that looks.
That looks just insanely good.
And the base is really cool with all like the tribal, structure and all that. That's awesome.
Just so good, so good. So anyway, thanks for sending those.
Hey, thanks to Collins Collectibles in the chat. He says I should try Sideshow about my magic mirror. He was able to get a replacement, so I'm going to do that. So
it's worth a shot. I know for a fact that Sideshow has a very, very good close relationship with J. Scott Campbell. So if J. Scott has some available, maybe they'd be able to work out something.
Yeah.
Or maybe they have some broken, pieces laying around, and they might have a mirror for it or something that works.
Right.
I think it's worth it. I mean, what's the worst they can say is we don't have any.
Yeah. I'll give him a call tomorrow.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. Anyway, again, I just want to thank Chad for coming on. It was a lot of fun to talk about those busts. And again, I've held it secret for a long time, and so it's really nice to be able to share what I know with the community. And obviously, Chad had a lot to say tonight, and he dropped a lot of names. I mean, he dropped a lot of names tonight. So if you paid attention, you could tell how deep his list really goes. And so that's exciting. And I love the idea that they're going to do some fan polls and no matter what, do at least one or two a year of fan picked items. And that, how great is that? But again, we have to support it with our wallets. But I feel like, God, this is like old school Sideshow pricing. And, when people would buy 5, 6 a year, I think people might be willing to do that. So
I want a Ragman.
I'll do it.
Ragman, that'd be cool.
Have you guys seen Ragman's a pretty cool character?
Well, the one that I was most excited about that you said was ventriloquist. Like, how great would he finally get a ventriloquist with Scarface? Like, that's great.
Mad Hatter.
Speaking of that, that's one of the characters I'm having David Finch do this weekend.
Yeah, I've been wanting Mad Hatter for a while. Just a statue or
ventriloquist. Ventriloquist.
Oh, ventriloquist.
Yeah.
You have him do a Mad Hatter too, no?
Well, I might. I might. That's my goal, is to have all of them. So that's a lot of money. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic for another day. But anyway, I want to thank Dan, Eric, Jeff, and of course, in our absence, Jeff Morris. I'm not sure what he was doing tonight, but I think he was busy doing something. And I also once again invited Susan. Susan was going to join us again tonight after her absence, but she got the flu.
Oh no.
So she has been recuperating the last couple of days. She said she would really try for tonight, but obviously she's not feeling better. So hopefully the next show she'll be on with us again. And again, happy collecting, everybody. Check out Secret Sanctuary. Check out All Things Art. And got a lot going on this weekend. Just to plug my own channel, I am going to be live unboxing the Friday night. I'm going to do the Weta Joker. And that was... all thanks, it was, sent to us by Marcos at Collector Zone, and that is something that we're going to be giving away during the Batsies. So I'm going to review it for you guys, hold on to it, and then I'll give it to you guys live during the Batsy show. So again, really great show. Do you guys have anything coming up on your channels that you want to plug?
I don't at the moment.
Okay.
I'm doing some shorts though. Getting into the
shorts
shorts
are good.
thing.
Yep, check out the shorts. Shorts of the future. Really great stuff. I do have the live unboxing of Poison Ivy Flesh Color from Prime 1 Monday. I also got my shipping soon from Sideshow for the Joker Say Cheese. So that'll also be up on the channel. I'm really excited about that. I know not everybody loves it, but I'm really excited about that Jim Lee Joker portrait. So I finally have a Jim Lee Joker. So anyway, because I used to have that old Kotobukiya vinyl one, from years ago, where he's kind of the bang gun. So like this has been a long time coming for me. So anyway, look
at Mike Helm's post in the chat. It's very important.
Jeff still looking for She-Hulk. So here's what I'm gonna do.
Shameless plug.
Someone get this dude a She-Hulk. Because he needs one. He needs one so bad. So yes, please definitely help him out. Get that She-Hulk for him.
Maybe we'll get one for 12 days of Sideshow.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe he'll get one regardless. So anyway, anyway, have a great rest of your week, guys. Tune in Friday night as I live unbox, and really appreciate everybody tuning in. We had well over 200 people tonight, which was fantastic. Really appreciate you guys being willing to tune in and supporting the show like you do, and supporting other channels like these guys, fine channels. It's just so great that you guys do that. So anyway, thank you very much. Continue to be good to yourself and your neighbors and everybody else. Happy collecting, stay positive, and we'll see you in the Batcave. Bye, everybody.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night. Thanks for watching. Good night.